In this video, let's take a quick look at how Traverse PC computes volumes between two surfaces. This is a project that we actually started a couple years ago. We ended up going through a zone change because this was zoned incorrectly in the city. The city wanted it corrected, but we had to go through the application for it. And just last week, finally, we got a contractor out there, and you know how it goes. First thing they did was tear out some of the hubs before I could get the stakes up. They were a day early because of how the cat rental worked, and kind of surprised me. But in a nutshell, you can see that there's an existing pavement area out here that we're going to keep. We'll reseal it and stripe that when the project's done. And then this is the area that was original ground that we're now going to excavate down 3 inches for pavement, 6 inches for rock. So we're going to be down 7/500ths. And I want the volume out of this because I'll show you in a moment, we want to use it just across the street. So just to get real familiar with this real quick, we had some overburden to strip off. We are putting in lighting, parking lot lighting, and landscaping that need irrigation. So we've put in the utility trenches for that, laid the pipe in. Here's the south end where we had actually a little fill instead of cutting down there. And then across the street behind this building is that athletic field. So really in the original planning, I just wanted to know, could I use all of this sand on site without having to pay to haul it off? And of course that's going to be one of the construction bid items that we talked to the contractor about. So I just needed to know a net volume, have some idea if my bright idea of using it for that athletic field would work. So let's take a look at how this works inside of Traverse PC. I've actually got three surfaces. One of them is the original ground, or I just left it, the points I imported from the original site survey. And you can see I've got kind of a high area over here by the alley, so this is going to get cut down. A little bit lower area down here in the south that's going to actually take a little fill to get to finished grade. And then here's that original pavement we're going to retain. So if I turn that off, here's the finished grade. So we've designed this for the water to flow westerly into the bioswales we're going to build over on the west side, and southerly into this bioswale we're going to build on the south side. And I've got my subgrade surface that I generated for this. And just to kind of orient you real quick, that surface is based on a set of points that define that subgrade, and if I tag it, you can see that this is what we're talking about. So I haven't included the volume for a driveway cut here. We need to pull this pavement out, do new driveway cut here, or the bioswales. But this gives me an idea of kind of what the bulk of the excavation is going to be to subgrade. So let's just jump in, take a look at how we do that inside of Traverse PC. So I want to open up this original ground surface and just kind of show you how these work inside of Traverse PC. I can tell Traverse PC for any surface what are the source or the points I want to use, and I've chosen to tell Traverse PC use all the topo points in a traverse. So you get the idea real quickly that this surface can be based on one traverse, my subgrade surface can be based on a subgrade traverse. And that's in fact how we do multiple surfaces inside of Traverse PC. We base them on traverses. So I based this surface on the site points that I picked up a couple years ago when I first went out there. I did the similar for the subgrade, except now I came in and I said, I've actually designed the finished grade, and where appropriate I've dropped that down 7/500ths to the subgrade, and I've created a surface out of that based on the points in that subgrade traverse, and that's the one I highlighted a moment ago just so you could see the area we're actually excavating. So let's go ahead and generate the surface, the volume now between those two. I'm going to open my original ground surface, and it's just asking me if I want to display it because I don't have it turned on. And I'm going to choose the volume button, and I see there are three options for volumes. I can do the volume to a border, and that's great for a stockpile of rock or a pile of chips where I just want to get the volume of the pile. I can go to an elevation, okay, or I can go to a surface, and that's what I want. And all I have to do is select the surface. So I'm going to go from my original ground to my subgrade. It's that simple. I compute it now, And I know that right away there are 293 net cubic yards. So I've got my cut volume, 343, my fill volume, remember there's a little fill right down here at the south end, of 50 yards. The net that I'm going to pull off is 293. Now I'm not computing any expansion, compaction, that kind of stuff. I can apply those factors easily. I just need to know how many yards I'm going to haul across the street. And of course, what I do with this then is that I go ahead and add this to a summary so that Traverse BC can actually put that information in here for me. And I was actually doing some computations with the final pavement too, but this is what I want, my 293 yards. And I can send this now to the contractor or to the city so they kind of know what we're doing out there. So a real quick look at computing the volume between two surfaces in Traverse BC.